I added a new BioDome bumper ship made of rigid bodies and connected with PinJoints. When one section is destroyed, the rest swings around the dome or breaks off. To make the glass dome, I start with a new 150 by 150 canvas in GIMP. Reset the active colors to black and white. Under gradient, select foreground to background RBG. Set shape to linear, and repeat to none so the colors extend past the points. Click and drag to draw the gradient. Set the start point to 80-80 and the end point to 70-70, so there's a thin strip of gray in the middle. Apply the spherized distortion filter with radial mode and linear resampling. Repeat the filter 4 more times, or until it looks rounded. Right-click the layer to add an alpha channel. Then select Color to Alpha under Colors. Set the transparency to mid-gray, so just the shadow and highlight are remaining. Add a new layer, and set the active color to light blue. Enable Maintain Aspect Ratio on the Ellipse tool and make a selection. Set size to 150 and position at 0, 0 to select the sphere. Right-click and choose Edit to Stroke Selection. Enable Stroke Line with line width of 10. Then apply a Gaussian blur filter of size 4.5 to blend it in. Invert the selection and delete everything around the sphere. Set the glow layer opacity to 25 and the shader layer to 50. I merge the layers and pasted over some stock images from Pixabay to make the different chambers. Then, in Godot, I make a new RigidBody 2D. Set gravity scale to 0. Make a new physics material and invert the friction and bounce settings. Add a sprite and rename it to base sprite so it works with the explosion function. Drag the housing image into texture. Add a collision shape. Set the shape to circle 2D and increase the radius. The tube is set up the same way, except the collision shape is a rectangle instead. Now I make a new 2D scene for the colony structure. Drag and drop an instance of the housing dome. Add a PinJoint 2D as a child. Assign node A to the dome, and turn up bias all the way so they stay firmly attached. Leave collision disabled, and duplicate the node. Then I add a couple tube instances above the dome. Move and rotate them so they attach around the edge. Assign node B on the PinJoints to each tube. In the bumper spawner script, I preload the BioDome colony scene and add it to the bumper spawn list. Now I can see the tubes rotate around the dome and bounce off each other as expected. I add 2 more domes and a tube to finish the colony structure. Assign the PinJoints to connect it all together and center it over the origin. Then I make some changes to the bumper ship base class so it can be used as a standalone. Rename setup to the predefined ready function and connect the ready signal to itself. This fires automatically when ready is complete. Since the base class doesn't have an onReady function, it will be ignored by default. To simplify a new bumper implementation, I add it to the bumper group, turn off static, and hide the health bar. In the shooting star and striped bumper scripts, I change ready to on ready and remove the setup call. I double-checked to make sure everything still works. Now I can attach the bumper ship base class directly to the housing dome. Set points and health. Make sure it's local to scene. Add the health bar. And connect it to a remote transform 2D. Also add the static effect, make the process material unique, and load the emission mask. I set up the tubes the same way, so the colony looks like this now. I add a script to the base colony node and declare the signals. On ready, loop through the children, connecting to their add points, draw explosion, and tree exited signals. Add points and draw explosion just echo the signal up to the main class for handling. When a segment is destroyed, if there's no other children, free the node so other bumpers can spawn. The problem now is there's too many bumpers, so you go flying off in a random direction, and they don't respawn fast enough to stop you. So in the bumper spawner script, I turn down max count to 40. Then on timer timeout, change if to while, so the bumpers are all spawned at once. I also reduce the dome and tube mass so they have less inertia. Now it's a lot more manageable. I need to fix the overlapping spawns at some point. I also plan to add more domes that drop different power-ups. Thank you for watching this Derp Star update, and have a great day.